One just arrived near the area that saw the most damage yesterday afternoon. Petrania?
Michelle and John, they call this area Ground Zero, just off of Bethel Road and Salmon Berry Road. I'm inside. I'm actually here in the parking lot of a strip mall, and take a look at that right up there. That used to be a sign that said Bethel Square Restaurant, completely destroyed after this tornado touched around about 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon. You see on the ground here, part of the sign is right down here, along with some tree branches and other debris because of what happened out here yesterday afternoon. Again, this touched down around 2. Chopper 7 went up yesterday and saw the aerial damage from what happened, and this is just destructive. They call this unexpected, powerful, and just left in matter of minutes. So here's what's left right now. When I got here into town, I saw some Kitsap Sheriff's deputies actually manning this area. There are crews right behind me fixing some of the power lines, trying to get power back to people in this area. We know there's more damage right behind this lot where this restaurant is right now. So we're going to show you in the next half hour, take you back there. We'll also hear some of the homeowners who actually said that they're very lucky that this storm came down when it did about 2 in the afternoon, because if it happened about 30 minutes or 45 minutes later, that's when the kids would be all out of school and there may have been more injuries. But right now, no major injuries in this tornado that touched down in Port Orchard yesterday afternoon. Now we're going to talk about also the crews who will be coming out to assess the damage, how strong this tornado is coming up. We'll talk more about that too. We'll be back at 5 o'clock. Back to you. We're back in this area soon. For now, reporting live in Port Orchard, Petrania Poonswan, Cairo 7 News.
And a lot of people. Petrania, this is one of the areas that saw the most damage.
Michelle, as I said before, you imagine covering a story like this in places like Kansas or Oklahoma, but not in Port Orchard, Washington. But this is what we're seeing this morning after this tornado touched down yesterday afternoon. I'm standing right in front of what used to be the Salmon Berry storage facility, but this is what's left of it now. And today it's all about assessing the damage and seeing how strong this tornado was. Now, as you said, Chopper 7 is now overhead early this morning, taking a look at how the damage looked like from above ground. And as you can see, the damage is still visible, and crews will be coming in today just to look at exactly how this town has been affected. Now, we've talked to some of the residents who've lived here, including one man whose roof of his home actually blew away yesterday, but he said he still has many reasons to be thankful.
Nobody's hurt. It's just material things, and you know what? That can be replaced. My daughters, my son, my animals, they just can't be replaced.
That's the spare bedroom that we have.
And he actually has some cell phone video of showing actually a part of his door actually went inside his house because of just how powerful this storm was yesterday. As we come back here live now, I'm seeing some of the crews starting to arrive, especially to restore power in this neighborhood. It's still very dark out here, and actually have this flashlight with me just to carry around to see some of the damage and make sure I don't step on some of the power lines that are down around in this area, as well as other debris. So we're going to keep you updated on some of the efforts to clean up this morning. We're starting to see some people arrive at some of the businesses here in this area, checking out what they can recoup after this big storm. But now, reporting live in Port Orchard, Petrania Poonswan, Cairo 7 News. That's right. I did get it confirmed with South Kitsap Fire that this business, that strip mall, did suffer a gas leak. They are now under control. That's why they're allowing some of the crews back there to clean up that big tree that came crashing down. But before we were asked to move, we did talk to a number of businesses that didn't see this tornado coming. The cleanup begins after a tornado ripped through a town that never expected to see a weather event quite like this.
I still can't believe it, to tell you the truth. It just doesn't sound possible. I called my folks in California and says, the restaurant just got hit by a tornado, and they said, you're joking, right?
This sign that once perched on top of Sherry Patrick's Port Orchard restaurant is now sitting on the hood of her car. Just some of the damage we came upon less than 24 hours after a tornado touched down without warning Tuesday afternoon.
What we're looking at right now is a storm that was probably on the ground for a minute at most.
Meteorologists with the National Weather Service tell us tornadoes with the power strong enough to pull roofs off homes and trees off their base are rare west of the Cascades.
Strong tornado like this certainly could easily have injuries, so we're very fortunate in that regards.
I mean, it's totally mind-blowing, it's unreal.
Painter Austin Siegel counts himself among the lucky ones, even though this crumpled building is all that's left of his business.
A lot of people lost a lot more than we did, but thankfully it sounds like everybody is all right.
And that sentiment is what's keeping people like Patrick going, even though her 21-year-old restaurant that sustained major water damage may not reopen anytime soon.
I already broke down and cried, but now it's just called stand back up and clean it up, I guess.
And talk about close calls. One of the workers in that paint business that's located right behind me here had just clocked out and walked out of the building about 5 minutes before that tornado hit. Reporting live in Port Orchard, Patrania Poonswan, Cairo 7 News.
Wow, talk about a close call.
Wind while cleaning up the damage left behind by an unexpected tornado on Tuesday.
Cairo 7's Patrania Poonswan is live for us in Port Orchard. Patrania, trees are the big concern today.
Yeah, this is because a lot of them have already toppled over, like this one right here next to me. You can see how it's just knocked off the base, and crews have already been here trying to clear many of them as possible so that it come down on more properties and more people as well. We've seen that this operation started yesterday morning, still continues through today. A lot of people also still without power, so crews are trying to do this amidst the rain and the winds that are expected later on today. But they say it's so important to get people back in their homes, especially in a safe area.
There's still trees that have been damaged by the tornado that are standing, but they're not in good shape. So we're worried about trees going down again.
City and county crews were talking during their press conference yesterday that their main focus right now is to survey the areas, making sure that it's safe for people to go back and allocate their resources as efficiently as possible. And also we heard this morning, I think Michelle already talked about this, of how the Kitsap County people are also shutting down their incident command center. So now people with emergencies, especially if they're dealing with that today, with power outages, storm related and otherwise, they're asked to call 911. For now, reporting live in Port Orchard, Patrania Poonswan, Cairo 7 News.
And this is a great. Orchard is also dealing with this latest windstorm as the town is still reeling from that rare tornado that touched down earlier this week. Cairo 7's Patrania Poonswan is back on the ground in Port Orchard today. And Patrania, you have been out talking with homeowners who are bracing for more possible damage from this wind Nick is telling us about.
Yeah, the wind really started picking up again just a few seconds ago. Things are flying at the moment, and this has just been really tough for this community. As you can see behind me here, crews are working in this condition, trying to pick up all the damage, including what this tornado did to this home right here, toppling the rows of trees right in front of this property. This pending storm is not putting the brakes on repairs across this neighborhood where a powerful tornado blew through just 48 hours ago.
These people are fantastic. They are.
Bob Cushland said Tuesday's tornado damaged the roof of his house off Harris Road. He and his wife had been staying with friends in Silverdale until they got some good news this morning.
I found out this morning we got our power back on, so we get to move back in and have heat.
We did see other people moving back into the neighborhood where inspectors came through in the last few days. A number of homes now red tagged, which means they're deemed unsafe to live in.
It's insane. Hopefully this is as bad as it gets.
Marco Garmez said he's lucky his wife and 5 kids are safe. The only damage, his storage shed that blew from his backyard onto the pond next door. Today, volunteers with Habitat for Humanity who helped build Garmez's home are back to help repair the shed. Garmez hopes there won't be more damage with this next round of storm.
So close to the holidays, you got family coming in. It's just so many things that could add into a more stressful situation.
For Bob Cushland, he said he's not stressing over what Mother Nature will bring next, just thankful for all the help this community is getting.
People are basically good, and they're showing it.
And we're seeing that kind of help happening right now in this community. Now the power outage is also affecting parts of Port Orchard at this hour. We know some of the areas have not had power since Tuesday. And now that the Kitsap Tornado Command Center is now closed, residents with any kind of emergency moving forward is asked to call 911. But now reporting live in Port Orchard, Patrania Poonswan, Cairo 7 News.
Oh, be safe, Patrania. A lot of big trees still standing out there.